know, but have they even called Where's the Graduate? They're still all out around here.
Yeah. I don't think they've called yet.
Good afternoon, graduating class of 2021.
She said start.
Already did.
We are so glad to see all your faces and your cards.
Already did.
Oh, which
Just a few things before we begin. We are broadcasting through 89.9 FM. If you would like to dial in on your car or phone radio. If you see any major spots where there are balloons, something is happening there, like the photo booth, the car decorating area, and there's also the snack bar. If you're a graduate and you do not plan on walking across the stage, please come up after the ceremony to receive your diploma cover and get a photo. Graduation is defined as the award or acceptance of an academic degree or diploma. Synonyms for graduation include hierarchy, ladder, ordering, ranking, and scale. The definition and the synonyms exclude lots of significant details. What you accomplished over your last 13 years of schooling is highly commendable. And I would like to give you some advice for your future based on the specific skills that you honed during your path to graduation. Why did I have to do all these things to receive a high school diploma? How has Oklahoma Connections prepared me for the next phase of my journey? First is organization, the to-do list, overdue lessons, and the planner. These tools are in place to help you organize all the work that you have to complete in one semester. When lessons start to pile up, the stress and anxiety of not being able to finish everything before your deadline sets in. This is a lot like your next area of study. You will see more of the big picture, and it will be your responsibility to pace yourself and take responsibility to complete all tasks by your deadline. What a great feeling. After you procrastinated last year, but this year you're caught up and ready for your finals in the last week of school. This is one of the most useful skills you mastered with us at Oklahoma Connections Academy. Be responsible. Next, the mandatory synchronous contact with your teachers through phone calls or live lessons, asking you what you've done and how you did it. In your next area of study, you will be called on to explain your findings and prove your knowledge. This will give your employer, your client, or your customer the confidence to know you're ready to perform your job effectively. Be accountable. Next is state testing. Traveling to a place you may have never been before, and finally getting to meet those teachers that you work with in live lesson week after week. Life is scary. Sometimes you will travel to a place that you have never been and have to complete a task you've prepared for, but in a setting and with people you do not know. It's important to show up prepared and do your best and perform in those situations. Testing is an opportunity to prove your skill set. Be brave. And last, but definitely not least, portfolios. Why can't I just submit a blank portfolio and move on? Why do my teachers keep calling me back and pestering me to redo the portfolios to up my grade? Why can I not pass my classes without accomplishing mastery on portfolios? They're the hardest, they take the most time. In your future, you will master many small tasks in your desired avenue of study and have to combine those into one act to perform your job duty. Whether it's fixing the brakes on someone's car for them to safely pull back onto the highway, to doing a young woman's hair on the most important day of her life, her wedding day, to welding pipes for a resource to travel from one location to another, to performing surgery on a patient whose life depends on you. Those will be your portfolios. They take practice, stick-to-itiveness, concentration, and mastery. Be committed. Why did Oklahoma Connections Academy put you through these things? Your learning has been authentic. You did not show up to class and get a grade. You completed your lessons and you earned your grades. You spoke with your teachers and you showed up to live lesson. You redid portfolios and remediated tests to master your content. Now, you're equipped with a host of skills that will serve you on whatever path you choose next. Whether you're going into the workforce, starting a small business, taking over a business, attending a 2-year college, a 4-year college, a career technical school, or the military. You are now in a position to advocate for yourself and excel in your field of study. Vince Lombardi said, "The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have." So what do you have? And what are you going to do with it? Be responsible, be accountable, be brave, and be committed. And now Sarah Moore is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
You mean they actually still have that?
Oh, right.
We gotta
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Well, of course.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now introducing Nhs Graduates, the Student Council Vice President, who will be doing our class motto.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nhs Graduates, and I'd like to share with you our class motto that we've chosen by the great Winnie the Pooh. Always remember. Yes. There you go. Okay. There you go.
Really?
What happened?
Always remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Thank you. Love more than you know. Thank you.
Some motto.
Good afternoon, graduates and families. At this time, we will have some recognition from Donna Hogan for Student Council and Naomi Jones for National Honor Society. Student Council and Honor Society members, we will have you come up at the end of the ceremony to collect your physical awards. So we will just recognize you from where you're located currently. To start off with, we have a scholarship presentation. This is for the Oklahoma Blood Institute. We had several blood drives scheduled by Student Council this year, and so Mrs. Hogan would like to represent one student for this scholarship, and it is Ethan Croyle. Let's give him our round of applause.
It's hell getting up and down, especially from here.
Right. I said that same shit about this.
Maybe they was honking their nose to sit in. I don't know why for. They got a door on top of their cars and everything else. Stop bothering me.
Academy. This year, they organized numerous virtual events that were social events, and they also hosted 4 blood drives all across the state of Oklahoma. We even collected 36 units of blood to help during the blood crisis this year. In their time at Oklahoma Connections Academy, they have helped plan prom, 2 of which had to be virtual, even this year's, but we still made the best of it. I am so proud of their efforts to make Oklahoma Connections Academy a great place to attend high school, and I truly believe that they are leaving a very strong legacy for those who follow after them. Please join me in recognizing our graduating student leaders. Nur Akur, member, 1 year of service. Deja Barr, member, 3 years of service. Ethan Kroll, member, 3 years of service. Jewel Hill, member, 3 years of service. And now, I want to recognize our hardworking officers. Zane McCartish, Vice President, 3 years of service. And Sarah Moore, our President, 3 years of service. Thank you again for your student leadership. And on behalf of Ms. Fryer and myself, we wish you the very best in your next amazing endeavors.
Hello, I've had the privilege of being the advisor for OCA's chapter of the National Honor Society for the past 3 years. I'm so proud of our NHS students. Even though we weren't able to do our normal group service projects in person this year, our NHS members still worked on individual projects and logged a combination of over 622 service hours. They exemplified the NHS pillars of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Please join me in thanking and congratulating our NHS graduates. Sierra Airy, our NHS Secretary. Deja Barr. Ethan Coyle. Arfa Faruqi. James Fritz. Jewel Hale, who was also our NHS President. Jay Helton. Caleb Ketman. Zane McCargish, who also served as our NHS Vice President. Mesa Meadows. Jay Nabar. Abigail Oliphant. Alexia Pearson. Jaden Spotted-Wolf. Anna Stevens. Ellie Wilberding. And Jaden Rykoff. Thank you and congratulations to all of our graduating NHS members.
Hello, how is everybody doing today? Isn't it great to be celebrating? Oh, come on, y'all can do better than that. Isn't it great to be celebrating? That's what I'm talking about. My name is Ashley Hambright, and I am one of the counselors at OCA. And I would like to take this time, and I'm sorry I'm on my tippy toes because I'm short. I can probably.
Supposed to be
All right, that's better. I would like to recognize students who received honors, awards, and scholarships.
Academy.
Please, if you hear your name, we're going to give you a clap, but after the ceremony, you can come and get your certificates. Sierra Airy, Noor Akor, Ashlyn Athey, Deja Barr, Joshua Bynow, Caleb Bloodworth, Curtis Cedos, Ethan Croyle, Arfa Faruqi, James Fritz, Jesse Gottwalt, Joel Hell, Maria Hart, Matthew Jocelyn, Sean Kinu, Jasmine Longoria, Mesa Meadows, Zane McCargish, Sarah Moore, Jay Nabar, Micah Norwood, Abigail Oliphant, Olivia Ray, Jaden Spotted-Wolf, Emma Staker, Anna Stevens, Jamie Stratton, Ellie Wilberding, and Jaden Reitgoff. These students received honors from their techs, honors from colleges in which they received scholarships, some of them full rides. We are currently calculating the amount of scholarship amounts that we have, but last I checked on Thursday, students received a total of $120,000 in scholarships. Samantha Marsh was known for her extremely witty humor, her love of family, and her passion for educating children and helping them see their worth. Samantha Marsh was a teacher for OCA, and her love for education and students showed through in all she did. I would like to now recognize her family, who we have the privilege of having here every year that we have a graduation, because this is a big honor for not only us OCA teachers and staff, but also for the students who are chosen to receive this scholarship. Rhonda, Alex, and Addie, would you please wave? And Derek. Derek made it. Yes, Derek. Samantha leaves a strong legacy of valuing education that will continue through those whose lives she touched and those who merit from her memory. Each year, we are privileged to present Samantha's Memorial Scholarship to a student who exemplifies Samantha's passion and drive for education. Each year, as I said, we've had the honor of Samantha's family being present with us to present these honors to the recipient. This year, we have been fortunate to be able to award 2 exceptional students the Samantha Marsh Memorial Scholarship. The 2021 recipients of the Samantha Marsh Scholarship are Noor Akor and Olivia Ray. Congratulations, ladies. We appreciate you and what you did for applying for this scholarship.
At this time, we would like to recognize one of our students who has qualified as a National Merit Scholarship finalist. He has also received a commendation from Governor Kevin Stitt. At this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the 2021 Valedictorian of Oklahoma Connections Academy, Jay Nabar.
Welcome to Oklahoma Connections Academy's graduation ceremony for the class of 2021. I'm honored to have the chance to speak to you today. I'm equally grateful for the opportunity to connect with you all virtually. Firstly, I want to acknowledge each student in the graduating class of 2021. Congratulations. We made it through high school, and we made it through 2020. We should all feel proud of that. I want you to congratulate yourself for making it to the end. Give yourself a big hug. To anybody who has had a rocky journey these past 4 years, I want you to know that your journey is just as valid as mine, the valedictorians, or anyone's path for that matter. It can be easy to compare yourself to others and feel inadequate or not good enough if you're not exactly like the people around you. I speak from personal experience when I say I've been there before. That's exactly how I felt when I made the transition from public school to Connections Academy. Nobody that I knew personally was attending high school online, which led me to feel different from all the people I once felt close to in class. At the time, I was comparing my journey to those of my friends, and since it was different from theirs, it made me feel inadequate. That's where the flaw in my thought process existed. Just because your experience doesn't exactly mirror someone else's experience doesn't make yours any less important or less valid. That's a lesson I have learned from attending Connections Academy, and I'm so grateful I was able to acquire that lesson. Through means of unconventional schooling, I was able to make connections and experience teaching that I don't think I would have been able to obtain in a traditional classroom setting. The most profound realization I've had during my high school experience is, as long as you're following your path and it feels right to you, stick with it. As hard as it may be, don't allow the opinions or pressures of those around you to sway you from what you know and feel is right. All the fear and doubt I had about online learning immediately dissipated once I realized that everyone is on their own unique path, and that no two paths are alike. By no longer comparing myself to others, I was able to fully immerse myself into this new chapter at OCA. And that's what I want you to remember when you leave here today. Whatever your next step in life may be, pursue it wholeheartedly with conviction. With a full heart and determination, nothing can stand in your way. Everyone is on their own trajectory, and we are at a pivotal stage in our lives where many of us are looking toward the future to discover what's next. If you want my advice, try listening to your heart and trusting your gut. The world is so big and holds endless opportunities for each one of us. Dream as big as you can and believe you can do it, and you'll get there. Congratulations, fellow classmates. Cheers to what is next.
We're going to backtrack just a little bit. That was our 2021 Oklahoma Connections Academy salutatorian, Curtis Cedos. Let's give him another round of applause for his speech. And now, this time for real, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the 2021 Valedictorian with Oklahoma Connections Academy, Jay Nabar.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before I get started, I want to thank everybody who's helped me succeed in life and become who I am today. My wonderful parents have been with me every step of my life, constantly motivating me to do better and to be a better person. I'll forever be in debt to them. The teachers I've had here at Oka are all wonderful. Even though I wasn't in physical classes, I felt a real sense of connection to all of you. You make your classes engaging and interesting, and you deserve praise for that. I especially want to thank my counselors, support teachers, and all the other teachers who helped me with my college admissions process this year. All of you went above and beyond for me, and I'll always be grateful for that. My favorite comic strip, and in my opinion, one of the best works of fiction ever created, is Bill Watterson's Calvin and Hobbes. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's about the 6-year-old Calvin and his antics with his best friend and stuffed tiger, Hobbes. As this pandemic has worn on, I've found myself returning to my Calvin and Hobbes books as a source of comfort and entertainment. And as I've done so, I've been thinking about the way Calvin lives his life, and I've been wondering if we could all learn a thing or two from him. Now, if you're familiar with the comic, my thoughts may surprise you. After all, Calvin is an arrogant brat whose favorite pastime is to hit passersby with snowballs. But I think we can all learn something from the way Calvin approaches. Calvin may be a jerk, but I think we should adopt his attitude towards failure. Setbacks can seem daunting. I understand that. I understand that it can be just as easy to abandon a goal after a few roadblocks as it is to make that goal in the first place. It's easy to dream about climbing a mountain when you're at the start of the trail. It's a lot harder when you're slogging through mud and rain. But no matter how insurmountable an obstacle may seem, always remember this: it's not the obstacle that dooms you to failure, it's your response to it. Calvin understands this. Calvin knows that he doesn't fail at something when he faces a setback. He fails when he says to himself, "Oh well, I guess I'll just give up." There is no obstacle you can't overcome. When you fail is when you stop trying to succeed. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking that I'm naive, that there are some mountains that nobody can climb. But I don't think so. Let me tell you about Robert Goddard, one of the fathers of rocket science. From childhood, Goddard dreamt of traveling to space. Now, physicists at the time thought that was impossible. They thought that since space was a vacuum, there was no way a rocket could travel in space. But Goddard realized something nobody else did. He saw that the simple action of burning fuel would create a force that could propel a rocket through space. And he was right. Every modern rocket relies on ideas from Goddard's early experiments. Now, I'm telling you this to illustrate that our ideas of what's impossible change with time. Space travel may have seemed impossible to physicists of decades past, but it's very possible now. If you think that you're facing an impossible obstacle, just wait. Wait for an insight. Look at the problem from a new angle. Think differently from others. Sooner or later, you will see a way around it. You will be the Goddard of your own dreams. Setbacks are a part of life. I'm sure that everybody here has faced setbacks at some time or other. But no setback dooms you to failure. It's how you respond to setbacks that determines whether you achieve your goal or fall short. Be like Calvin. Keep on going through every setback. Be like Goddard. If something seems impossible, try it anyway. As you move on to a new chapter of life, remember that you can accomplish anything, and all you have to do is work at it. Congratulations on graduating, and good luck.
Next, we welcome to the stage one of our students who has received a commendation from 100th District Representative Marilyn Stark. We are honored to present to you at this time the 2021 Early Graduate Salutatorian for Oklahoma Connections Academy, Jewel Hale.
get it on her. Go ahead.
Salutations. We probably all learned this word at some point or another, even if its meaning is long forgotten. You may have learned the word while learning about letters, because the greeting of a letter is sometimes called the salutation. Or maybe you had it as a vocabulary word at some time or another. I believe I first learned the word in elementary school while reading Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. Charlotte, the spider, uses it when she introduces herself to Wilbur. She goes on to explain that salutations are greetings. When I say salutations, it's just my fancy way of saying hello or good morning. You may be wondering why I'm talking about salutations during a salutatorian speech. Traditionally, the salutatorian has been given the honor of giving a greeting at graduation. Hence, when they chose the name of the student, it was based on the word salutation. So I've addressed that I'm supposed to greet all of you, and I did that by saying salutations. But a salutatorian speech doesn't just greet you into graduation, it greets us into the next phase of our lives. Beyond high school, we're no longer following the same high school curriculum, having mostly the same teachers, and procrastinating on the same various projects. Some of us may be going straight into the workforce, while others may be going into the military to serve our country, or maybe to college to further our educations. Some of us may have never seen each other before, and will probably never see each other again. As depressing as that may seem, we're a different class of students than most of the world has seen. No matter where we go from here, I believe that we are more prepared for life than many of our peers. During our time at Oklahoma Connections, we've learned the importance of reaching out to our teachers. This is a skill that we will use for the rest of our lives. Maybe it's in college and reaching out to your professor, but this is just as important in military and the workforce, as we reach out to our bosses and supervisors we're all going to have at some point. We've also learned personal responsibility, time management, self-efficiency, and probably countless other traits that our brick and mortar peers may still be struggling with because of having a different environment. Yeah, they're probably better at face-to-face interactions, but we have taken down the difficulties of a virtual environment. We might have had some challenges. We are so much more prepared for the virtual world we live in. People may call us homeschool, but in a way, it's almost world school, since we have the world at our fingertips. Our generation is known for being attached to our devices. And while this is sadly true, the connections we make through the internet have the ability to change the world. So I say salutations to the next chapter of our lives, and salutations to being world changers. Let's show the world what we online students can do, whatever our next steps may be.
Our next speaker is Mr. Levi Patrick, who is a 7th generation Oklahoman who taught 8th grade math and Algebra 1 in Putnam City and Oklahoma City public schools. Patrick holds his bachelor's degree in mathematics education from Oklahoma State University and his master's degree in instructional and academic leadership from the University of Oklahoma. He gained experience as an instructional coach and curriculum writer while working as a mathematics specialist at the K-20 Center for Education and Community Renewal at the University of Oklahoma. He most recently worked at the Oklahoma State Department of Education for more than 8 years. During this time, Patrick served as the Director of Computer Science and Secondary Mathematics, and most recently, the Assistant Deputy Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction. There, he implemented networked improvement communities to design, actualize, and sustain practice and policy-based solutions to improve equitable access to excellent educational experiences. He has served in leadership roles for the National Councils of Teachers of Mathematics, the Association of State Supervisors of Mathematics, and has served recently as a panelist on the National Academy of Education Forums on COVID-19 and inequities in education. In 2019, Patrick received the State Leadership Service Award in Mathematics, presented by the Association of State Supervisors of Mathematics. His wife, Rosalind, and 2-year-old daughter, Ruby, are moving to Tulsa in just a couple weeks as he begins his new role as the Executive Director of the Tulsa Regional STEM Alliance. The STEM Alliance aims to build broad, deep, and innovative STEM pathways for all students to access high-impact careers. It is my great privilege to introduce Mr. Levi Patrick.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
As you heard, I have a math background, so today's conversation will mostly center around English, because why not? To the graduating class of 2021, congratulations to you, to your families, to your friends. Think about what a fantastic journey this has been. You made it. Cue the credits, cue the applause. That's a wrap. Yay. I suspect in this moment, you kind of feel like this is the closing scene of the movie in your life, right? It kind of feels like the point of the last 13 years or so has been to get here. It's the summit you've been ascending. It's the finish line that you have made your entire life's goal. And I can imagine this movie now. It's kind of like that classic Disney princess movie, right? Where the storyline ends with some version of, and they lived happily ever after. Have you ever wondered what the trailer of your life would be? Imagine that for just a moment. Is it a comedy or a drama? Is it set in your home or your friend's home? Is it in space for some reason? If your movie had to have monsters, zombies, or aliens, which would it be and why? You can see I'm getting to the deep stuff here. So let me just get to the critical question though. In the movie of your life, are you the hero? I want you to process that for just a second. Like if you're a graduate here, think and nod with me, yes or no. In the movie of your life, are you the hero? I see you nodding. If you hesitated for any amount of time, or maybe you answered no, let me just let you know that the answer is yes. You may also, by the way, be a helper or a sage in somebody else's story. Great. Do more of that. Maybe in some situations you might be the villain in somebody else's story. Not so great. Please do less of that. But the point is, you are the hero of your story. So I want to talk to the families just a moment here. Have you imagined your life as a movie? I see a couple of you who are thinking, I don't have time to think about the trilogy that would be my life.
I really don't need to.
That's okay. So for a moment, if you're a family member or a friend here, I want you to help answer this question with me. You can honk in a moment, you can cheers in a moment, but I want you to help answer this question. To what extent did your high school graduation feature in your movie? I think the answers are probably either a lot or not a lot. Some version of these things. So I'm going to ask you to answer by honking or screaming very loudly so that we know your answer. So here's the first one. Honk if high school graduation features a whole lot in your life story. Or scream for me. Okay. Look at that. Now, the opposite. Honk or scream if high school graduation does not feature a whole lot in your life story. Okay. I think the folks who have said it doesn't feature a whole lot are the loudest. Does everybody agree with that? Yeah. So I want you to appreciate this if you're a graduate. I'm not saying that what this is doesn't matter, but what I am telling you is what feels like the pinnacle today is the beginning of so many more journeys for you.
Yes.
If you were, I'm sorry, I'm just going to be really cheesy for a second. If you were bred instead of a graduate, if you were bred, you would be like dough, barely formed and certainly not baked. If you were a TikTok thing, then the app would just barely be loading and you would not have yet selected even which dance challenge you're going to do. You are at the beginning of an amazing journey. These are the opening credits, actually. And what comes next I think, will likely look like the hero's journey. And you may remember the hero's journey, I hope, from English class. And so for all the English teachers out there, forgive me if I get something wrong. But here's my gist of the hero's journey. There's the beginning, which is the usual. There's some unusual things. There are a lot of hard things. And then there's the back to usual thing. If you're an English teacher, again, please accept my apologies. And what we know about the hero's journey is it begins in a place that's familiar. It's a comfort zone.
Yes.
Like high school, for example. Harry, you may know, had his cupboard under the stairs.
Yep.
Because I have a 2-year-old daughter, I can't help but think Anna and Elsa had their castle. And Dorothy had her farm in Kansas with Toto. And throughout this journey so far, your family and your friends have all made up the usual world around you. And just like in every journey, there comes an invitation into the unknown. The owls deliver mail, Elsa runs away and Anna has to go get her, and Dorothy has to run and search after her dog.
How in the fuck?
And many times in your life, new journeys will call to you, and I'm telling you today that your life is calling to you now. This is your call to an adventure. As we heard from Jewel, this is your salutation. Whether you feel eager or anxious about what awaits you, the world awaits you. The great unknown beckons. And as our newest adults, I invite you, and I think we collectively invite you, to join us in helping make the world a better place. And at this point in your life, someone will probably ask you, trying to better understand where you are at in your story, they may ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm here to tell you that whether or not you understand your answer with clarity yet, I don't actually think you need to know. And I'm sorry, my apologies again to families who think you should know. But I don't think you actually need to know. I think there's actually a more powerful question to ponder. And that is the first lesson of the hero's journey right now. It is not what do you want to be when you grow up, it is who do you want to be. What you do may change. In fact, it probably will. But who you are, that's something you get to decide now and keep working on. And at every moment, if you want to be somebody great, you have that opportunity. Being who you are is the most important thing to get right. So the next phase of the hero's journey is the unusual. One of the first things that happens when a hero or heroine decides they're willing to go into their journey of the unknown is they find a mentor or a guide. Harry had Hagrid, Anna and Elsa had the trolls, Dorothy had the good witch. And for some reason, you have me here today to give you just a little bit of wisdom for the next steps. So listen closely to the wisdom, not just from me, but from those around you, your elders, the people you trust. It will stand in contrast to criticism, because those in your life who share wisdom will focus on opportunities for growth rather than criticizing weakness. They'll always make room to listen and won't let you settle for anything less than what you deserve. So pay attention, friends. Your guides are out there. Seek them out, cultivate those relationships, and lean into it. The first threshold of your journey is fast approaching. You will soon start college, basic training, or maybe your first full-time job if you haven't already. There are many unknowns about what will come next, but one thing is abundantly clear. There's no turning back. You're about to launch in a new journey. Pay attention to who will play the role of the sage,
Imagine that right there.
giving you the advice and the
Being right
encouragement
here,
you need. And I'm here
but
to
bigger.
say, if you don't have that person already, find them. Make it a priority.
I don't like it. It hurts. Not more.
So, a second lesson for today. Value the wisdom of those who came before you. It's a thing to get right in your life. So let's get to the third phase of our four-phase journey here. The third phase is a kick in the pants. It's what we call the trials and tribulations. So the thing about being a human adult that you may already know is that essentially everything that you do from this point on will be complex. Very few questions will have correct answers, but will likely have levels of wrong answers. Thankfully, just like Harry had his friends, Hermione and Ron, Anna and Elsa had Olaf and Kristoff and Sven. And if you just keep forgiving the extended metaphor here, Dorothy had the lion, the tiger, and the Tin Man. Excuse me, the lion and the scarecrow and the Tin Man. And soon, too, you will realize that during this next season in your life, you will have to work so hard to stay connected with those you care for, because they are the ones who will be by your side when you need them the most. And to be honest, I think this is the most important lesson today. The lesson is get and keep great friends. Never settle for anything other than supportive, loving, and caring friends who want the best for you. Because you will face challenges. There will be issues around money and health, love and politics, and policies that impact your life and those you care about. And the challenge of being an adult is perilous. At some point, you may become a boss, a parent, a spouse. If you haven't already, you will be handed the responsibilities to vote and advocate for policies that impact you and your neighbors. At some point, you will learn to scrutinize and be scrutinized. Whatever fears that you have, that you realize now or have yet to come to realize, will likely be tested. If you're afraid of being alone, you almost certainly will have to determine with all your strength to prioritize lasting and deep relationships. If you're afraid of being criticized or flawed, I can speak from experience that you will have to face that reality and open yourself up to honesty with yourself and others. There may be real monsters that you face and cross paths with. There may be inner monsters that present themselves during the dark and quiet times. You can overcome them, especially with good friends by your side. Through hopefully fewer obstacles than some of us may have experienced, you'll come to realize that life was never actually about accomplishing some final challenge. There's no final boss in this game that you have to beat to win. In fact, this is the point in your life that hopefully starts to differ from the classic hero's journey. There will always be trials and tribulations to come, but the real journey and the real challenge that we face is something we can learn best from heroines who know that knowing oneself is of the most significant concern. If you are lucky enough, your reward will be apparent early on in your journey. There is so much more to life than extracting value from it. Nurturing and caring for your families, your friends, and your neighbors, and the land that we're on. It's all about being a caretaker and a steward. As I've learned from one of my favorite poets, Wendell Berry, the standard of the exploiter is efficiency. The standard of the nurturer is care. The exploiter's goal is money, profit, and the nurturer's goal is health. His land's health, his own, his family's, and his communities, and his country's. And so if you don't mind me revisiting our first lesson, know who you're going to be, more so than what you're going to be. I have a hint to the answer to that question. Be a nurturer. And so we come to the final stage of the hero's journey. This is called the return. In the hero's journey, this is the part where they realize that they have just barely survived some treacherous ordeal. Harry just barely survives Voldemort's something or other. Anna comes back from being completely frozen, and Dorothy clicks her heels and finds out that she's back home. And while your life may not have opening and closing credits, it may not be so clear as to when you finally overcome that great ordeal. But you will overcome one, and then another, and then another. In each season of your life, you'll fail in new ways, listen and learn to the people in your life, lean on support and guidance from your friends and family, and you'll have to keep reminding yourself of who you are and who you want to be. And so the final lesson of the hero's journey is simple. Never stop finding yourself. So soak up the people in your life that you love. Appreciate the rainy or cloudy days that maybe should have been sunny, but are actually pleasantly cool. And never be too sure of yourself that you aren't willing to grow. That would be a significant loss. So where do we go from here? There's so much more to say about what's next, but let me tell you a little bit about who I want to be as a way of encouraging you to decide for yourself who you want to be. I want to be a person who creates hope for others. I want to create experiences for students that cause them to decide to be a mathematician, a scientist, or an engineer, or maybe a coder. I want to be a father who teaches his daughter to do her part to repair the world. I want to be a husband whose wife is secure and fulfilled. A neighbor who others know will always jump to be the first to help. And a person that will trust and respect. And most importantly for me, I want to be a good ancestor to my descendants.
Oh, that's how black.
So since I have the great honor of being this person in your journey that gets to give you the little sage advice, let me recap the things I hope you learned today, and we'll take forth. More than deciding what you want to be, the question to answer is, who do you want to be? Don't forget, I think the answer probably is nurture. Value the wisdom of those who go before you. Get and keep great friends. And never stop finding yourself. With that, I wish you the best on your journey. I hope that you find who you want to be when you grow up. May your brilliance, kindness, and passions guide you. May your stubbornness and flaws never get too in the way. And may you remember that you are the hero of your story, and don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise.
That's what I was going to end up doing on memoir.
So congratulations on this remarkable achievement. Good luck on your journey. I know you're up for the challenge. Thank you.
Yes!
Michaela.
Huh?
That lady behind you is trying to talk to you.
Graduates, the time has arrived. We will now honor our graduating class with the presentation of diplomas. Any graduates that would like to receive their diploma on the stage, we invite you to make your way this direction. We will have teachers and staff to direct you for this procedure. Please make sure you bring with you your card that has your name on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
And we look forward to celebrating
How am I going to receive my diploma if I already got my diploma?
Well, I don't know. Where are we gonna go to?
Up there. I thought she had to go.
Okay, come on. I gotta put her hat on her.
Do I have to go too?
No.
Just you and Shania.
I got to take this big ass phone down.
Come on, Shania. I'll put it on when you get up there because you're gonna be bending over and everything else. I'm gonna fall off.
You got the phone, Austin?
Yeah, this my phone's on.
Oh, well, he was recording mine too, so I didn't know if he had it.
My name.
Huh?
My name.
Oh, that thing I put in my.
You better hurry, Shania. She's coming. Shirt on?
Yeah.
Make sure you can see them, Austin. I hope her boyfriend's watching.
Looks like he is. It says
Huh?
one person's watching.
What?
It says it's one person watching.
Oh, is there? I wonder who it is.
Well, it could be you.
Could be.
I got it on her.
Yeah, I got it on her. She's just gonna have to hold it.
Dylan Parker.
I want to stand up too.
Okay.
Uh-oh. I'm going to choose my tip.
Jewel Hale. Sarah Moore. Deja Barr. Lauren Root. Ariana Hill. Jerry Smallwood. Victoria Keelan. Ashlyn Athey. Ethan Croyle. Brendan Bay. Emily Payne. Caleb Hetman. Mesa Meadows. Alina Rudder. Maria Hart. Cole White. Jason Harden. Angelica Lazoria. Madison Kniefel. Alexia Pearson. Nikayla Schubert. Ariana Hollingshead. Jacqueline Featherston. Madison Williams. Dana Kraus. Jeremy Magana. James Fritz. Sierra Airy. Savannah Nielsen. Micah Norwood. James Bailey. Aaron Sandoval. Jay Nabar. Caitlin Bible. Mackenzie Bowling. Zane McCargish. Jaden Wright-Goff. Anna Stevens. Shania Fettner. Karina LaPointe. Kaven Scott. Ashley Weaver. Nor Akor. Garrett Webster. Joshua Binow. Ellie Wilberding. Barbara Schubert. Victoria Rios. Cameron Wells. Jaden Trammell. Larry Carrie Lale. Olivia Ray. William Woodward. Hunter Whitesell. Rayana Rodriguez. Jaden Spotted Wolf. Any other graduates that have not been recognized? All right, we would also like to recognize out there somewhere, Alexis Soto. Let's give her a round of applause.
Graduating class of 2021. The turning of the tassel symbolizes your movement from candidate to graduate. It symbolizes your promise to create a brighter future for yourself and for those who come after you. This is the last act you will perform as students at Oklahoma Connections Academy. I will now ask the graduating class of 2021 to please turn your tassels from the right to the left. Congratulations, graduates! If you're accepting an award, please make your way to the front, or if you'd like any other photographs, the photo booth is still open, and thank you for attending.
Yes.
We've not been out, so you want to stay put. I got phones.
So I go out there with my gun and everything.